Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. And as long as you're here, let's make some food. I posted a picture of some cauliflower slaw that I made a while back. And I thought, you know what? I was going to make it again. And I thought, I'm just going to show you how I make it because I think it's something that would be very useful to you. And when you buy a fresh head of cauliflower, there's no waste. So that's pretty awesome. Now, what I've got in this bag, I've got, these are the leaves, the outer part of the cauliflower, as you can see here. See that? And part of it, I don't know if I can dig down in there or not, but, oh, see, this is the core, part of the core. See there? Okay. And these have been washed nicely, so we're all good there. And this is also part of the core because I made some more Cauli salad, which is awesome. If you're trying to restrict your carbs, that's a great substitute for potato salad. So here's the other pieces right there. They're going to go into this slaw as well. So, and the thing that's going to facilitate this slaw, because it's not like a traditional cabbage slaw, is going to be my blender. I don't have a food processor, but I've got my blender, so I will be using that to help me break down the cauliflower. Okay, I've chopped it a little bit to make it more manageable, especially those hardcore pieces. And I'm going to put some water over this, and that's going to help facilitate the chopping of the cauliflower leaves and core. Okay, so I actually put about 4 cups of water in the blender. Now, obviously, if you have a food processor, you don't have to do this, but when you're using your blender, that's a good way to do it. Just put some water in there. We're going to pour it in a colander and drain it out. Also, if you don't want to shred your cabbage and you don't mind having a finer type of cabbage slaw, you can use this method as well. So I just want to show you this. So I'm going to move this blender where I have an outlet, and I'm just going to pulse it until it looks the way I want it to look. See, this, I just pulsed it a few times. It works very easy because of the water that's in it, and it looks the way I want it to look. So now I'm going to drain it. Okay, this is what I'm going to add to the cauliflower slaw. Now, you can put anything you want in your slaw. I've got 3 green onions. I've got some celery that I'm going to slice thinly. And I have this yellow or orange, whichever you call it, bell pepper. So I'm going to put that in. But you can put anything you want in your cauliflower salad. It's perfectly fine. And frankly, that's kind of a good way to use up what you've already got. Now, I've drained the slaw. See how nice that looks? If you go through it, you find any big chunks, you can either just remove them or pop them back in the blender if you have a lot, and give them another pulse and chop them up a little bit. Now, I've got it in my big silver bowl here because I want to make sure that all the liquid is drained out of the slaw. So while that's doing that, I'm going to get my vegetables chopped up. Okay, I've got the yellow peppers chopped up. I've got some thin sliced celery, and I've got those 3 onions in there, spring onions. So that's what's going to go in my slaw. Now, I'm going to make a vinegar dressing for this slaw because it will last longer in the fridge. But you can use a creamy slaw dressing if you have a favorite that you like. Also, you don't have to make slaw out of these ingredients. You can make a stir fry if you want to. That's really good. Or, I know it sounds a little bit crazy, you can use egg and other binding ingredients, and you can take your chopped up cauliflower leaves, etc., and core, and you can turn them into patties. Just cook them in a little bit of fat, and there's any number of things you can do. Also, if you're not going to use these right away, I would recommend that you chop them up like this and put them in a freezer bag and save them for another day. They might not be that great for slaw after they're frozen, but you can use them in cooking and other things too. So, all right, I'm going to sprinkle some salt on here, just over the top. I'm going to do some pepper. Then I'm going to get my vinegar dressing going. That's going to go on the stove because that has to be hot and boiling. Okay, in this saucepan, I've got 1/2 cup of white vinegar. You can use whatever vinegar you prefer. I've got 3 tablespoons, which is about 1/4 cup of water. And because I am restricting carbohydrates, I'm going to add some stevia. Now, this packet is the equivalent of 2 teaspoons. I just do this to taste. I like my dressing a little tart and on the sweet side. If you don't like to use stevia or whatever, you can use whatever you prefer. Or just make your dressing, your vinegar dressing, however you like. It's whatever you like. Give this a little bit of... That's pretty good. I think I'm going to add one more. I think I'm going to add one more in. Only because I just like it on the sweet and tart. Sweet and tart. Sounds like sweetheart. Okay. That's good. Now, I'm just going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to pour it over the slaw vegetables. Now, you may not think this looks like very much, but it is, because what happens is the vegetables will macerate, and then they will let off their own liquid, which is fine. Get this mixed up. Now, if I wasn't watching carbohydrates in any other time, I would have just used regular sugar, but that's fine. You do whatever you like. But this actually makes quite a bit, and it ends up being very pretty. Now, and of course, there's not that much dressing there, so there it is, coming to a boil. Now we're going to pour it over our slaw ingredients. Yes, it's boiling. That's what we want. Oddly enough, when you do it this way, your vegetables do not become mushy. They stay crisp and awesome. I'm just going to toss this. Now, this is really done. It's better once it sits in the refrigerator. I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to let it cool off to room temperature. Give it a little toss every now and again. And taste it for salt, pepper. And that's it. That's all there is to this. Pretty easy. And I did not absolutely waste one bit of my cauliflower. Cauliflower from Aldi lately has been exceptionally good. So that's it. Now, once this cools to room temperature, I will put it in a glass dish, and I will just eat it whenever I like. It's awesome with a burger or just absolutely anything. It's a very good thing. And you can take this to a picnic or a potluck, and it will get eaten up because it is awesome. So, okay. That's it for me today. I love you guys. You know I do. As always, you know that little is much when God is in it. Okay. All right. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for being here with me. And I will talk to you in the comments. Okay. Bye. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.